Hello, family and friends. Welcome back to Captivated Mind. I am your host, Mike. Guys, this is the next week following Thanksgiving. How was your 2022 Thanksgiving? I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoy your meal. Hope you guys were empathetic towards each other. Hope you guys spread love and care for each other during this time in 2022. Guys, today, now that we're touching like the end of the year, because within a few days it's going to be December. And when I was thinking on that, I started thinking about the past year and the plans that I have. And, sometimes we experience failures, right? So then I start questioning the whole framework when it comes to failure, right? So the question that I have is, how do we view failure? What I've noticed is when most people hear the word failure, they think of, it's more than a negative way. It's like I didn't do right, or I did something wrong, or, basically I am a failure, versus what you did was a failure. You're thinking I am a failure, and you make it more personal than it actually needs to be. And the reason I have my notes here, so that's why I'm looking at this side. And then I started thinking back, why is it viewed that way? And I wish I had brought it in with me, but when I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, in the book he explained, if most of you are familiar with that book, he had his rich dad and his poor dad. His rich dad was actually his friend's Mike's dad, and this poor dad was him. Both were knowledgeable people. One, the rich dad, I believe he said, didn't go to college, where his poor dad did. Now, this is not knocking anything about college. Education is important, but in that book, he was mentioning failure. And that's when my eyes opened up to how we view it. Why we learn to view it that way in such a negative is because of how the school systems are set up. Because the thing is, you're graded A plus. You get B, you have A students, B students, C students, D students, and then you have, of course, the F students, right? So it's always viewed in a bad thing. You take a test, you fail, and it's just like very negative. And we were never taught in school, at least I was never taught in school, that when you fail, then you need to go back to the drawing board, find out what you did wrong, and then try to fix it. More so, you just mark wrong and not really explain why is it wrong. Do the equation again, or do the problem again. And then school is so fast paced that when you're taught, not everyone is taught to understand. You're taught on a general scale, and who gets it, who doesn't, well, those are considered the failures. And most times I believe is the system itself that have failed us, because as one of the points that I have, I'm going to bring it later on in this conversation as to the school system. But why we're viewed that way is because that's how the school system is set up. And we take that over even into our adult life. Even when we go to work, we are afraid, we are afraid of failure. So we try to do everything right. And then if we do something wrong, what? We're calling to the boss's office. Oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And then it's always a reprimand, always a discipline whenever we fail, instead of, well, maybe you need more training. Let's go back over your training again. No, you're supposed to do this. This is your responsibility. So the thing that we learn from we're children in school carries over into our adult life, that goes into other areas in our life. So we have to redefine the way that we think of failure. So that leads to my next point. How should we view failure? How should we view it? And I start viewing failure as a learning opportunity, basically using failure as a tool, right? Because the thing is, in order for us to progress in life, we have to find these little things that we can use as tool in order to mold us to become a better version of ourselves. And guys, the 2020 you, or the 2022 you, we're in 2022, the 2022 you should not be the same as the 2023 you. You should learn from your failures here in 2022 and then grow into 2023 to become a better, stronger version of yourself. And every one of us is capable of doing it. And I would say, guys, as the year is about to end, to write down what you believe your failures are. And when you write them down, then go in bullet points. Why do you consider these things a failure? Sometimes it could be the timing is wrong, right? Which I'm mentioning the timing. It goes into my next point. How do we need to look at failure? We look at it, and I have 3 points for this, right? You were taught wrong. I was taught wrong. Meaning the people that's teaching us could not necessarily be the right fit for us, and they won't have the ability to teach us so where we can comprehend and understand. Sometimes those who are teaching us don't have the patience, so they basically quickly give us a quick synopsis of what it is that we need to do and don't give us the chance to really understand it. Now, we've got to take ownership on both sides. If you do not understand, is for you to ask questions and for you to get a deeper understanding of it. But most people, even in school, and this is another learned behavior, even in school, there are kids that didn't even raise their hands when they have questions. And the thing is, we have to elevate to that point when we do not understand, for us to say we do not understand. And do not take it as a problem when people look at you like, oh, you don't understand this? No, I don't understand. As it's wise when you don't understand to say, I don't understand. So that's why most people are taught wrong, because the person that is instructing them or teaching them is giving them the information. They're not asking any questions. The person who's teaching thinking that they're doing a good job, but they're basically not teaching you to comprehend or not teaching you to understand. All right, guys. So ask questions. It's very, very important. The next one I have is how we should view failure. Sometimes when we fail at something, we may have forgotten a step or two. So we have our plan laid out, right? We're following the sequence of everything, and then we may have missed a step that caused us to fail in the process. So sometimes it's to go back to the plan and see, or if you're doing math, go back to the equation and see what number you may have missed or what step you have forgotten. And then when you notice those steps or those numbers, then you can fix the problem at its source. For those of you who are interested in like computer coding, it's the same thing with computer coding. When you miss something, you have to go through your whole line of code or that section of code that you have a problem. You always are given like an update of what it is that you need, but go to that line of code and then you got to go back and try and fix that problem at where it's at as its source. Now, the next one I would say that contributes to failure is a lack of motivation. Guys, sometimes I believe the lack of motivation goes to what is the purpose of your goal? What is the purpose of the thing that you're doing? You have to go back to that in order to be motivated to continue forward. Because the thing is, most of us, when we're not motivated, we do not give 100% of ourselves to the thing. So become more motivated by going back to your reasons. Why? Why am I doing this? Guys, I want to thank you for watching today. It's really short, talking about failure. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I mean, December is right around the corner. I hope you guys are planning well. I hope you guys are not planning to overspend. Your family would understand. If you can't afford it, don't afford it. Stop going into debt for Christmas time and then spending the whole year trying to pay it back. Guys, pay for what you can. Your family will understand. Those who love you will love you regardless. And those who are just there for things, some of them will fade away. But guys, this is Captivated Mind. Please like, share, subscribe, and tune into my other videos, guys. Be safe, and I look forward to my next episode, Captivated Mind. Peace out, guys.